If you've recently been diagnosed with kidney disease and searched online for what to eat, you're probably afraid to eat anything at all. One website says no bananas, another says no potatoes, another tells you to stop eating whole grains. Pretty soon, you're staring at your plate wondering if every bite is making your kidneys worse. But as a nephrology nurse with nearly 3 decades of experience, let me tell you a secret the internet won't tell you. There is no single kidney diet. What you eat completely depends on your specific stage. Today, we're breaking down exactly what to eat and, more importantly, what you do not need to cut out yet. And we are going to do this stage by stage. But before we decide what belongs on your plate, you need to understand why so much of the advice online is actually hurting people. In stages 1 or 2, your kidneys are still filtering waste at 60% to 100% capacity. Here's the good news. If you're in stage 1 or stage 2, this is actually the easiest stage to protect your kidneys because they're still doing an incredible job. Your main goal here is strictly protecting those filters from further scarring. Here is what you need to focus on. Sodium reduction. Keep it under 2,000 milligrams a day to protect your blood pressure. If you have diabetes, strict blood sugar control is your primary kidney medicine. Now, let's bust the biggest internet myth. You do not need to restrict healthy fruits, vegetables, or whole grains yet. Keep eating your bananas, avocados, and brown rice unless your specific blood work shows an issue. Your kidneys are still strong enough to clear those minerals. I've met patients who completely stopped eating healthy food because they thought every banana or tomato was damaging their kidneys. In reality, they were worrying about the wrong problem. Has that happened to you? So if potassium and phosphorus aren't your biggest concern yet, what should you actually be changing? At this stage, the kidneys can still process potassium and phosphorus, so your focus is strictly on blood pressure control and reducing the chemical workload on the filters. Avoid packaged deli meats like ham or turkey and replace them with freshly cooked chicken breast or turkey baked at home. Packaged deli meats are packed with sodium and chemical preservatives that skyrocket your blood pressure. Swapping them for fresh home-cooked lean meats instantly cuts hundreds of milligrams of hidden salt out of your day. Avoid garlic salt or onion salt and replace them with pure garlic powder, onion powder, or a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. Many people think they're cooking healthy, but they don't realize garlic salt is just table salt with a little garlic flavor. Make the switch to pure garlic powder to keep the flavor without straining your blood pressure filters. But this is where the rules begin to change. The advice I just gave you does not apply forever. Once kidney function drops into stage 3, your diet becomes much more personal and your lab results begin guiding your food choices. Stage 3 is where the confusion turns into pure panic. This is the crossroads. For many people, this is also the stage where they start hearing completely different advice from different people. One person says, stop eating protein. Another says, stop eating potassium. Another says, go plant-based. It's no wonder people don't know what to eat anymore. At this stage, your kidneys are working 30% to 59% capacity, and they are getting tired. The biggest dietary shift here is protein moderation. Excess protein creates a heavy workload of urea for your kidneys to filter out. By shifting towards high quality plant focused or moderate lean proteins, you give your kidney filters a massive breather. So what about potassium and phosphorus? This is where the answer becomes it depends on your lab results. You only restrict these minerals if your blood work explicitly shows they are running high. This is exactly why I created the Kidney Lab Companion Guide. If you haven't downloaded it yet, click the link in the description. Use it to write down your estimated GFR, potassium, and phosphorus levels from your last doctor's visit so you can stop guessing and know exactly which part of this video applies to you. Do not proactively starve yourself of healthy foods until your labs demand it. Now that you know the biggest change isn't cutting out everything, it's letting your lab results guide you. Let's look at a few simple swaps that make stage 3 easier. In stage 3, the kidneys are at a crossroads and struggling with heavy filtering workloads. This is where we want to ease up on the dense animal proteins. Avoid eating large portions of heavy red meat like beef or steak and replace them with plant-based protein swaps like tofu or lighter options like egg whites or fish. Red meat produces a high amount of waste product called urea, which forces your kidneys to work overtime. Shifting your protein source to egg whites or plant-based options gives your tired kidney filters a massive breather. Avoid heavy chocolate candies and replace them with jelly beans or hard candies in moderation. Chocolate is naturally very high in phosphorus, a mineral that stage 3 kidneys are beginning to struggle to clear. If you have a sweet tooth, swapping chocolate for a few jelly beans satisfies the craving without overloading your blood with phosphorus. But what happens when your kidneys can no longer keep up with those minerals, even when you're making smart choices? That's when stage 4 changes the rules again. In stage 4, your function has severely declined to between 15% and 29% capacity. This is the stage where your diet stops being mostly about protecting your kidneys and starts becoming about protecting the rest of your body from what the kidneys can no longer remove. Your kidney filters are running on less than a third of their power, and they can no longer easily clear out minerals. This is where the rules become much more important. I know this can feel overwhelming, but there's a reason these recommendations become more specific now. Your kidneys simply can't clear certain minerals as easily anymore. You must now actively track and lightly limit your potassium and phosphorus intake to protect your heart and bones. This is the stage where processed foods, dark colas, and hidden phosphorus additives must completely leave your kitchen. You may also need to start watching your fluid intake if your body is retaining water and causing swelling in your legs. So what does this actually look like when you're standing in the grocery store? Here are two simple swaps that can make a big difference. In stage 4, the kidneys are working on less than a third of their power. Potassium and phosphorus are now major dangers to the heart and bones. So the swaps must address these minerals directly. Avoid dark colas like Pepsi or Coke and replace them with ginger ale, root beer, or lemon lime sodas. Dark colas contain inorganic phosphorus, an artificial additive that your body absorbs at nearly 100%. It heavily stresses your bones and blood vessels. Swapping to root beer or ginger ale eliminates that toxic phosphorus load entirely. Avoid high potassium fruits like bananas or oranges and replace them with low potassium fruits like apples, berries, or grapes. When your estimated GFR drops into the 20s, a buildup of potassium can cause dangerous heart rhythms. You don't have to stop eating fruit altogether. You just need to swap out high potassium items like bananas for kidney-safe alternatives like crisp apples or fresh blueberries. But here's where kidney disease surprises almost everyone. Everything we talked about up to this point changes again if someone starts dialysis. In fact, one of the biggest dietary rules completely flips. Stage 5 means kidney failure. This surprises almost every patient I meet because everything they worked so hard to do suddenly changes. If you cross this line and begin dialysis, the dietary rules completely flip, creating what I call the great protein paradox. While you had to limit protein in earlier stages, dialysis treatments actually strip protein right out of your blood. Suddenly, you have to eat a high protein diet to stay strong and avoid malnutrition, while keeping an incredible strict eye on fluid limits, sodium, potassium, and phosphorus. This is exactly when watching a dialysis diet video when you are only in stage 2 is so dangerous. The rules are literally opposite. So what does that paradox actually look like at the dinner table? Let me show you two swaps that surprise almost everyone. Once a patient enters stage 5 and begins dialysis, the diet completely flips because the machine removes vital nutrients while leaving certain minerals behind. Avoid whole wheat bread and replace it with white bread or sourdough. This is the ultimate paradox. While whole wheat bread is usually healthier for the general public, it contains high amount of phosphorus and potassium that dialysis struggling patients can't clear. In stage 5, white bread or sourdough is actually the safer kidney-friendly choice. Avoid cow's milk or yogurt and replace them with rice milk or unfortified almond milk. Dairy products are incredibly rich in phosphorus, which dialysis cannot easily pull out of your blood, leading to severe bone disease and intense skin itching. Swapping your morning glass of milk for rice milk allows you to enjoy your breakfast safely. Even if you make every one of these changes correctly, some people with kidney disease still completely feel exhausted. Before I explain why, I'm kind of curious, what food has been the most confusing for you since your diagnosis? If you're still feeling exhausted, your body might be signaling a completely different early warning sign. Click on this video right here where I break down kidney-related anemia, one of the absolute first complications that most people completely miss, and let's figure out how to get your energy back.